You think dating someone younger makes you vulnerable? A 44-year-old millionaire businesswoman thought she had everything under control. She was wrong, and what happened to her will make you think twice about who you trust with your heart and your money. This is the story of Ebere Agatha, a wealthy Nigerian businesswoman living in Mozambique with an empire she built from scratch. By 2015, Janet had everything: 3 grown children, a thriving business that stretched from Nigeria to Mozambique, employees who depended on her, clients who trusted her with million-dollar deals. After 15 years of marriage, she divorced her husband on the 3rd of October 2015, not because she needed him, but because she wanted her freedom. And here's the thing, she got even wealthier after the divorce. Janet was known for her generosity, jovial, free-spirited, the kind of woman who would light up every room she entered. Her ex-husband still respected her. Her children adored her. Her staff worshipped her. Even her neighbors had nothing but good things to say. She was living her best life as a single, successful woman. But that freedom would cost her everything. Janet was very active on Facebook. That's where she met him, a 22-year-old local boy named Ivaan Shavish. He claimed to be a web designer. She needed a new website for her business. It seemed like the perfect professional arrangement. But nothing about this was professional. Their meetings started innocently enough. Discussions about web design, business ideas, technical details. But somewhere between the business talks and the late-night messages, feelings developed. They agreed to date in secret. People whispered, of course, a sugar mommy and her sugar boy. The age gap was impossible to ignore. She was 44, while he was 22. But Ivaan didn't care about the gossip. He cared about the opportunity. For a struggling web designer in Mozambique, dating a millionaire businesswoman wasn't just romance. It was a breakthrough, and he was going to milk it for everything it was worth. For 1 full year, Janet took complete responsibility for Ivaan's financial needs: rent, food, luxury items, whatever he needed, she provided. And with each passing month, Ivaan's demands grew bigger and bolder. But Janet was no fool. She was a vibrant divorcee who wanted to explore life, not settle down with a boy half her age. Eventually, she began to pull away. The text messages got shorter, the money slowed down. Ivaan could feel her slipping through his fingers, and that is when he made his move. When Ivaan sensed Janet was done with him, he asked for one final, massive sum of money. And for the first time in their relationship, Janet refused. A few days later, Ivaan called her with a different request. Could they meet for a date? Maybe to talk, to apologize, or to find closure. Janet, always generous, always willing to give people second chances, agreed. They met at a lounge somewhere in Nampula. They talked, they drank, but Ivaan's intentions were far from innocent. He got Janet so drunk that she became unconscious. While she lay slumped to her seat, unable to defend herself, Ivaan took her car keys. He carried her limp body to her own vehicle and drove her to her house. But he wasn't taking her home to safety. He was taking her home to rob her. Before that date, Ivaan had already made a phone call to a childhood friend named Ahmad. They had a plan, and now it was time to execute it. When they arrived at Janet's house, Ahmad was already waiting. While Janet remained unconscious in the back seat of her own car, the two men finalized their plan. Ahmad's job was simple but horrifying. Drive Janet's unconscious body to a remote location and get rid of her permanently. Ahmad drove to the outskirts of Nampula, to a desolate area by the riverside, where no one would hear her scream if she ever woke up. There, he murdered her. Then, in an act of unthinkable brutality, he dismembered her body, stuffed the pieces into 2 garbage bags, and dumped them into the river. While Ahmad was disposing of Janet's body, Ivaan was back at her house, robbing her. Gold jewelry, expensive watches, her phones, her car keys. He even found a briefcase full of US dollars hidden in her closet. He took everything, every single trace of her wealth that he could carry. 2 days later, Ivaan did something chilling. He gained access to Janet's Facebook account and posted a picture of her sitting in her car. Caption read, "Road trip activated." Her family and friends saw the post and believed it. They thought Janet was just being spontaneous or taking a solo trip to clear her head. But Janet wasn't on any road trip. Janet was already dead. For 3 straight days, Janet's family tried calling and texting her. Her staff needed instructions on urgent business deals, and her children wanted to check in. But there was no response. On the 4th day, concern turned to panic. They went to her house. The door was locked from the outside, which seemed to confirm she was away. But after 1 week of silence, they knew something was wrong. Immediately, they reported her missing to the police. When officers forced their way into Janet's home, they found something disturbing. Her clothes, shoes, and bags were all neatly arranged. No packed luggage, no sign of preparation for any trip. In the kitchen, there was a pot of cooked food, completely spoiled. If Janet had truly planned a road trip, wouldn't she have preserved the food? Or at least cleaned up? The police knew immediately this was no road trip. This was a crime scene. Janet's picture was plastered everywhere. Neighborhood streets, social media, news outlets. Witnesses were urged to come forward, but no one did. Her phone couldn't be tracked. Her cars had vanished. Her call logs revealed nothing. The search went for 3 months. Then the case went cold. Then Scavengers made a gruesome discovery by a riverbank in another city entirely. Dismembered body parts, female. The police immediately contacted Janet's family for DNA testing, but her family refused. They were convinced, or perhaps desperately hopeful, that Janet was still alive. A full year passed, with no new leads and no body officially identified. People began pointing fingers at the most obvious suspects, Janet's ex-husband. After all, the husband is always the first suspect when a wife disappears or gets murdered. This was a nightmare for him. He had a reputation to protect, a business empire to run. So he paid heavily for a private underground investigation, determined to clear his name. But no one suspected Ivaan. Why would they? Janet had kept him a secret. He was just her little plaything, hidden from the world. And that's exactly how he almost got away with murder. Then, on a bright Friday morning, the 17th of March 2017, everything changed. A car crashed on the highway outside Nampula. No casualties, just a standard traffic accident. Police arrived to clear the scene and tow the vehicle. But when they ran the registration, their blood ran cold. The car was registered to Janet Ebere Agatha, the missing Nigerian woman whose face had been all over the internet for 2 years. The driver was immediately brought in for questioning. He claimed he had bought the car second-hand and provided the contact information of the seller. That seller led to another buyer, and that buyer led to another. Each transaction forming a chain that eventually led investigators to one name: Ahmad. Ahmad, Ivaan's childhood friend. The man who had dumped Janet's body in the river. When police arrested Ahmad and interrogated him, he broke. He confessed everything. He gave up Ivaan's name and location, also revealing that Ivaan was the mastermind behind the entire operation. Ivaan was located and arrested outside his home in Nampula, just as he was about to drive away. Maybe he sensed they were coming, or maybe he thought he still had time to run. Janet's family was immediately notified. The relief, mixed with grief, must have been unbearable. Finally knowing what happened, but knowing the worst had come true. Ivaan was charged and brought to court. All of his assets and properties, the ones he had bought with Janet's stolen money, were seized. His bank accounts were frozen. The court showed no mercy. Ivaan was sentenced to 5 years of imprisonment with hard labor and ultimately death by hanging. Janet Ebere Agatha was a successful businesswoman, a loving mother, a generous friend. She built an empire. She gave freely. She lived boldly, and she was betrayed by someone she had trusted with her heart. This case is a brutal reminder that the people closest to us can sometimes be the most dangerous. Rest in peace, Janet. Your story will not be forgotten. If this story affected you, leave a comment below. And remember, always trust your instincts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more true crime stories that will keep you up at night. Stay safe out there.